So I think it was like last year at this time that we did the review on this thing called the KPOS Pathfinder G2. If I Incorporated kept saying, hey, we're gonna be sending you an updated version of the KPOS, which we're gonna be unboxing today. And then also they sent me a 16-inch Glock barrel, which I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. So these types of systems are very interesting because, you know, here in the past like year and a half, 2 years, the AR 9mm has become very, very popular, especially when you pair it with Glock magazines. But the whole downside to building an AR-9, the cost, right? Like you gotta get a new bolt carrier group, you gotta get a different lower receiver, a different barrel. And honestly, like they're starting to come down in prices, the AR-9s. But when I first got this, there was no way to build an AR-9 for less cost. I mean, it just wasn't there. Now, the new one is even more affordable than the older version, and we're gonna find out why. Maybe they cheaped out on it. I don't know. We're gonna just find out here in a second. So basically this converts your Glock to a pistol caliber carbine. Now this one on the other hand does not extend your barrel length, but it does extend your sight radius. And plus it gives you more points of contact on the weapon. So you got your hand here, you got a hand here. Theoretically, you get 3 points of contact on here because you're cheeking it. You can't really shoulder this like comfortably, and theoretically you're not supposed to. But you get 3 points of contact versus just 2 with a regular handgun. Plus you can throw red dots on here, you got sights on here, all kinds of cool stuff. So without further ado, guys, let's just dive up close. Let's take a look at these. Let's find out if the new one is any better than the old one. At the end of the video, guys, we're just gonna go over my overall impressions of these, and then in a follow-up video, we're actually gonna just run these through their paces at the range and see what we think about them so we can contrast the differences between the 16-inch barrel and the just OEM Glock 19 barrel. Also, guys, if this is something that you are interested in, I'm not affiliated with Fab Defense or ZFI Incorporated. I don't get any kickbacks from these guys. They don't pay me any money. They just sent these out so we can review them. But if you're watching this on YouTube, guys, just check the very first link down in the description. It will take you to another page where you can find all the links for this stuff. If you're watching this on Full 30 or Gunstreamer, the links will already be in the description for you guys. Just a heads up on that in case you look at this and you're like, dude, that's pretty cool. I kind of want to get one, or I'd like to research it more. All that will be there for you guys. All right, guys, so it is time for the moment of truth. This is the KPOS Pathfinder G2 that we reviewed last year. But like I mentioned, I had to take that video down because I think it violated one of the new YouTube rules that came out in this past March. I wanted to kind of just do a little quick brief overview of that one again, as well as talk about this new KPOS that just came out called the Scout. Now let's talk about this one. This one is the pistol version because it does not have any type of buttstock on it or a vertical foregrip. It literally just has this hand stop here to keep your hand from going out in front of the muzzle. Now both of these come with a sling. I just don't have it attached to it at the moment, but they do come with slings. Right here is the original one, and this one is twice the price as this one. I think one of the reasons is the materials that they're made out of. This one is made of 6061 T6 aluminum. It also comes with flip up sights right here. And then one other difference with this one versus this one is it comes with this really nice Fab Defense case to put all your stuff in. And this is the sling that both of them come with, and they're stretchy slings. So I'm not really a big fan of the sling. I would rather have something that's nice and tight and taut. This one does come with this bag. This one does not. It's literally just this plastic piece, and then it comes with a sling. But here it is right here. You know, it's basically metal, and it's very similar to the Roni, and it's very slim and compact. All right, let's get this one out of the way. It was sent to me, like I said, by ZFI Incorporated, and this one is basically very similar to the one we just looked at, except this one's made of a polymer instead of a 6061 T6 aluminum. And I can already tell you it's so much lighter right now. Has a fold-out stock right here, and we have a 16-inch freaking barrel installed in this, and it's crazy how this is. I'll show you in a second how it works, but this one has a lot of features that I kind of griped about on the other one because it didn't have those features, and we'll talk more about that later. One of the coolest features though is this safety mechanism to cover the trigger guard. If you want to pull this down, now it's a vertical foregrip. You can press this button right here, and now it's your safety. Also, if it has 2 buttons on either side, you press here, and that becomes shorter. And then when you want to pull it back, you get it up there, and nice covers the trigger. This one also has a stock, so this one is like the NFA version if you don't have a 16-inch barrel, just like that, and we're all set to go. We also got this charging handle up here, which is a lot wider than the original. And as you can see, if we pull this charging handle, it manipulates the slide. I do need to lube up the barrel a little bit. Also, if you wanted to run like a 30-round mag, like this one from ETS, it still retains where it locks open on the last round. And what's cool is this does have a spring to bring that back. If you did charge it and there was no round in there, it's not gonna be just hanging out. So let's jump up top. Let's talk a little bit more about this and the comparisons between the two and what my initial first impressions are. Back up top. So there it is, guys. This is the KPOS Scout and this is the KPOS Pathfinder G2. Right now, you're probably wondering, why did you get the SBR type version? And that's because they don't have a pistol version available for this yet. That is on the way and it's coming, but right now they just don't have it. Because I had to take that video down with this one, instead of just re-uploading it, let me just tell you what I said about this one. This one is very nice. It fits a Glock 17 or a Glock 19. They also have these available for SIGs and Berettas and CZs, all kinds of other guns. But the cons with this one was, one, I didn't like how little this charging handle was. It was kind of hard to grab, like in this position. Also, the buffer tube here, quote unquote, it's not really a buffer tube, but it is a tube that you can put on your cheek. It will not be comfortable to put it down here, so don't even try it. You can theoretically put a brace on here, but the braces that will fit are very limited because this tube here is so skinny. So the only brace that I've ever been able to make fit this one was the KAK Shockwave, and that's because it has that little set screw at the bottom. But even then, because this tube underneath all this foam is very skinny, it's gonna be a little off kilter. So if you're OCD, that might not be for you. The next con that I had about this one was the lack of some kind of safety mechanism to cover the trigger guard. Because if you have this, like let's just say you have this in a bag, cocked, locked, ready to go, there's no safety on a Glock. And if you have it slung up as well, it could catch something on your shirt or in your belt and it could go off and go bang. You don't want that. On this one, they addressed all of that. So number one, you can see the charging handle is a lot larger than it was on the previous one. They also have this forward grip here that doubles as your trigger guard. So that's really nice. The only downside to it is, theoretically there is a small little bitty gap up there. So something tiny could fit in there and possibly hit the trigger towards the top, but it's above where the trigger safety is. So yeah, it could hit the trigger bar if it was skinny enough to fit through there, but actually making that trigger go bang is probably impossible because, like I said, the trigger safety is down lower. I do like this though. This is really cool. It's adjustable, things like that. I love that. Now this one is made out of 6061 T6 aluminum. This one's made out of polymer. And I will just tell you right off the bat that this one with everything on it is lighter than this one with none of that on there. So that's really good to know, I understand why they went to polymer because it is definitely a lot lighter. This one's also foldable as well. The only downside is if you have it in the 16-inch configuration, you might just be like, wow, it didn't really get a whole lot shorter, but it might be a pretty cool little truck gun. Another thing I like about it is in the folded configuration, you could theoretically, you know what I mean? Oops. You could theoretically still fire it in the folded position, so that's awesome. So for those of you who are kind of new to like NFA guidelines, things like that, you can't make a rifle into a pistol, but you can make a pistol into a rifle and back to a pistol again. So just keep that in mind. So because a Glock started as a pistol, I can theoretically turn it into this and then take it right back to the Glock standard platform as a handgun on its own without any issues because it started life as a handgun. And then I don't know what kind of muzzle device I'm gonna try on this in the future, but right now I just wanna make sure it's gonna cycle, without anything on it. Then in the future, we can start trying, different things. Overall, it's a pretty cool little dealio for half the price just for the unit. Now they will have a pistol version. I don't know when that's actually coming out, but if you're watching this video like a month or two, after the fact, just check the links because, they'll be updating the site once the pistol version comes out. Now this one might not be for everyone, but it's kind of cool to have a 16-inch barrel on a Glock pistol caliber carbine. overall first impressions is it does exactly what they say it will do. It seems to be worth the money, but you know, time will tell as we do the test. But if you're not subscribed to the channel, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button so when we do upload that next follow-up video, you won't miss it, and just hit the little bell icon. That way you get the notifications if that's something you're into. But that's what I have to say about it for today. We will be doing further testing with this in the future. But if you have any questions, guys, let me know down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. And until next time, I love you, and you guys stay sexy.